Hey, how you doing? It's Chuck at On Point Hostess. In this next video, we're gonna make a paddle holster for the H&K 45 full size with a PID plus light on it. How cool is that? Let's get into it. So the first thing we got to do is get all the supplies ready, right? So here's the mold. I've already done a couple things. Here's the mold. Here's the PID plus. So on these particular molds, because they're a little bit older from multi-molds, they didn't have blocking. So you got to create blocking for all the mag releases and things like that. On this particular side, I'm going to put the paddle, because it's a paddle holster, I'm going to put the paddle clip on here, and then the customer elected for no sweat guard, so none of this stuff is going to be affected. We don't need to worry about it. The customer has raised sights, so I take a piece of wood and I raise it there. The customer has a threaded barrel, and I just cut a piece of wood and I make that for the threaded barrel. And then we need these for the light chambers, so we'll just go ahead and start working on that right now. This will create the chamber, so the light, so when the holster comes out, the light will fit, be able to move in and out of the holster without catching. And you could buy these on knife kits. I think that's where I got them. It's a couple different sites that carry them. Well, or you can make your own. A lot of people do that too. I just choose to use these. I like them. So these are for flat lights. Then I also have sets for, that are for the rounded lights. So I usually carry 2 or 3 sets of each because it allows me to prep the molds for multiple holsters if I'm doing them right. So, because usually when I'm in the shop, I'm making more than one holster. So I have to have the stuff available to block. And the blocking is what takes the longest amount of time, because the new back molds, and I've got some of them and we're getting them all in, make it a lot easier, a lot faster and things like that. So we'll get there. But I mean, I started with these molds and I can make holsters now for over almost 400 guns, to include all the lights that I have. And that's all my thanks goes to multi-molds, because and cook molds, but most of my molds come from Tony at multi-molds. So we created that chamber for the light, and then so this is the actual color it's going to be. I didn't show that yet. So it's extreme purple kydex, so it's pretty cool. So I want to put this, it's a paddle holster, right-handed paddle holster, so that means the paddle will go on the left side of the gun, because the gun will fit on the right side. So the paddles, I use just this clip here. This customer elected for an upgraded paddle, but all the paddles I use the same clip. And with the paddle, with this, I can put it straight, I can cant it, but this customer, he elected for straight. So what we need to do is figure out where this is going to go. The other thing too is the customer also wants the cut for their RMR. So most of the RMRs go 2.5 inches down the slides from the back of the weapon. So what I do is just mark that. So when I'm putting on this clip, I don't go over that, because I don't want it to get cut off. So I need to find some different pieces of wood that I got and just build this up until and then, so I want it above the trigger, and then I just need to figure out where the customer is going to grab it, and then just make sure that it fits on there. And then we'll just use some tape, we'll put it in place, and then we can just make sure it's right and move it around and things like that. Put some more blocking under it. So like I said, we don't need to be concerned about this, because when we cut the holster, we're going to cut that whole top piece off, because he doesn't want no sweat cards. So it actually makes it easier for us. But, you know, some of the customers will like not to have sweat guards. That's fine. So I carry a paddle holster similar to this daily in my other life. And we have multiple different types of paddles, small, large, just a standard paddle. And, you know, you can select from all those. And I use the G-code paddle, the medium G-code paddle myself. It's super comfortable, and I'll show you that when we get to it. So now I need to get out my tape, and I need to do my 5 layers, right? And I do is just put them on, and then we'll cut and adjust here in a second. I go through a ton of this blue tape, as you can imagine. But, you know, it just makes for better definition. And the other key thing is you got to make sure you have the right heat for whatever you're... And then people say, well, what do you use? What is your temperature you use? Well, I can tell you what my temperature is. The problem with that, and I run mine at 410. The problem is most of the heat presses that we all use are from Amazon or from other countries, and they're not consistent. So it's hard. Just because mine's 410 doesn't mean that yours is going to be 410. I had to figure out, you know, what the best temperature was mine, just kind of using products and going back and forth. So you're just going to have to mess with your heat press until you figure out what it needs to be and what it needs to be for you. So that side's done, right? I cut it so it looks good. And we'll go over here. So this one's going to be a little different because of that being here already, but that's okay. So I make holsters pretty much every day. I mean, if you got questions, please feel free to chime in at the bottom of the video or send me a message on Facebook or on YouTube, and you know, I'll help you with whatever questions you got. I'm actually helping a couple guys right now that are brand new in the hobby, same like me. I mean, I've been doing it since 2015. I've had a business since 2016. So, I mean, I didn't know how to do it before I started. So, and thankfully, a good friend of mine showed me how to do it, and here I am today. So, we all got to start someplace. Because some people say, "Oh, why are you helping your competition?" It's not. I mean, there's a gazillion holster builders out there. Just like there's a bazillion car dealerships or pizza restaurants. I mean, it's just, you gotta build your business and just make good products, and more importantly, have good customer service, because that alone will get you customers to come back, or it'll destroy your business. One of the two. Because, I mean, think about it. What do we all do when we go someplace and we don't like how we're treated, or we don't like the service we got? We don't go back. And then if somebody asks us, "Hey, what's a good holster builder?" I'm not gonna tell them to go to a company that treated me bad, or, you know, made me a bad holster. So I mean, it's just word of mouth, and that's how it happens. I mean, you see the posts on Facebook where people say, "Who makes a good holster?" and then you get 6,000 holster companies. It's okay. I'll tell you what, though. Most of them all do it the same way. And no matter where you get the product from, if they've been making holsters a while, they're going to fit, and they're going to work, and they're going to be similar. So, I mean, it's not rocket science as you watch me do this. The key thing with these molds, and I make is being able to make light holsters, because you can't walk into a store and buy a holster for a HK 45 full with a PID plus. Show me a store that sells that holster, and it's a paddle holster. You can't. And it's cut for an RMR, and it's got raised sights. So this is a key thing, and this is why I do what I do, is like the ability to make custom holsters. Does it take longer? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can see this video. I'm showing it real time. How do I make this holster, and how long does it take? But I think it's cool to be able to make these things for people. And like I said, as I can make holsters for almost 400 guns now, and that's not counting light variations. I mean, I've got pretty much every single light out there. And if I don't, if you know of one, shoot me a message. I'll go get it, right? Because I want to be able to, I want to be that guy. I want to be able to make, oh, that's my business model. I want to be able to make a holster for any gun in any configuration. So I use this. This is what I'm doing to create the for my retention and the holster here. So that's how you say, why is he? I already cut it, so I cut it out so that way there. I wasn't doing it in the video. So that's it right there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the kydex. I'm going to heat in the press. I'm going to heat in my heat press, and then I'm going to put the, I'm going to wrap it, put it in my press, and then once that's all done, I'll bring it back and I'll show you how we cut it and set it up. Okay, so here it is out of the press, right? So looks good. Got a lot of good detail. Now we need to cut it out, but let's go back over the details of this. So we're doing a paddle holster with a G-code medium. This is an upgrade. So the first thing we're going to do on that is center it and mark it. So we're not concerned about this, right? Because it's going to be a there's going to be no sweat guard, but the customer wanted a they wanted a cut for their sight channel, so we'll probably have to move this over because we need to. So I go 2.5 inches off the end of the gun, so we're gonna have to cut some of that, which is okay because this piece is big enough. This is why we didn't drill it yet. This piece is big enough where we can just move it over. Boom. And then what else? So I always put 2 holes, and I use this drill guide to put the holes on my holster. So I always cut the back because I want to make sure I don't cut this off. So instead of doing it on the front, I do it on the back. And what I do is just line this up. I always put 2 because if one of the screws falls out, the other one doesn't. You know, the customer's gun doesn't fall out. So I always want to have 2 just in case. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start lining it out and just go straight across the bottom. Excuse me. Oh, sneezing. And then I'm going to go up the side here. And then I don't like to have just pointed corners, so I always just take some off the edge here, and then I'll just take a little bit off the edge here. So now the trigger's here. When this comes up like this, I'm just gonna trace it up here. So I don't want to go on that, but remember there's no sweat guard, so we're just gonna go just like that all the way across. It'll look way better once it's all done. So let me take it over, I'll cut it out, drill it out, and then I'll be right back. So here it is, all cut, all sanded, polished, washed. So we gotta go out and put this on, and then we'll set it all up. We'll take the mold and the holster and make sure that it fits. Before we send it out to the customer, we make sure all the stuff fits perfectly before we send it out, because we don't want any upset customers and we don't want products coming back. So let me go ahead and put it all together, and then I'll see you at the end of the video. So here it is. Here's the finished product with the G-code medium paddle. Pretty nice, right? So this is for the H&K full with a PID plus on it. Plus it had an extended barrel, and then it had the G-code paddle on it. Perfect. Customer elected for this extreme purple kydex with the EM2 red washers. It's nice. It's a nice holster. Where are you going to get something like that at a gun store? You can't. You got to come to one of us holster builders to get a true custom holster. Does it take more time than a regular holster? Yeah. But this is why I enjoy it, because I want to be able to offer my products to everybody for any gun across the community. So thanks for following me along in this video. If you got any questions, drop them down below. Please subscribe to our channel, like the channel, share it with everybody you can. I mean, we're just trying to help the community and then build this channel up so I can put more stuff on here. If you want to see particular builds or you got particular questions, just let me know and we'll do that from here. Again, thanks for following along, and we'll see you in some more videos. Have a great day.